on the next episode for this streaming session where we'll talk about the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt Project Book. Yes, hello, part 3. It's good. How are you? Are you well? I hope you're well. I hope you are far away from this bloody virus. And we simply use the time where we have to be at home, where we have to take care about our families and ourselves. And for me, it was a great opportunity to finally start the streaming sessions with you. I hope I will be with you for a quite long time, not only during these difficult times, but also after that. And just as a small recap, what the streaming is about, and what can you expect from the streaming, and what will be the subject of today's session. So again, I'm Igor. I'm Master Black Belt in Lean Six Sigma, and I have over 22 years already an experience in Lean Six Sigma, in process improvements, and more than 10 years in Lean Six Sigma trainings. I have trained a lot of green belts and black belts, and I have conducted a lot of sessions for root cause problem solvings and other techniques and tools around the processes, the quality of the process. Hello Nishant. Nice having you on my stream. And during at least several further 20-40 sessions, we'll talk about the demake projects, which are the main tool for every Lean Six Sigma belt. Doesn't matter if you are green belt, black belt, or master black belt. If you would like to apply a Lean Six Sigma methodology at your work to solve your problems, you probably will use a demake approach, which consists of 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, control. And we discussed about this already before during the first stream. And in this stream we will focus on each phase. We will follow the tools, we will follow the logic, we will follow the sequence, and what we will do in the same way, we will create a project book, as you can see here. So we will create a project book to report and to track your results and your... Sorry, I forgot to put here yellow color from yesterday. So this will be the project book that you can use to track and report the results of your work during the demake project. And we will create it together. Please let me know if you would like to have the link to these resources already. I have to just place them somewhere. I think it will be on Google Drive. So we are actually creating 2 documents. So there is one presentation when I a PowerPoint presentation where I draw some topics just to explain some steps more deeply. And of course there is a Google spreadsheet file where we are creating a step-by-step, field-by-field, all necessary information you need to fill down to track the progress of your project. And yesterday we finished a SIPOC, one of the first tool in the define. You can see also a few of the fields have my comments. So when you move the mouse over these fields, you can see some comments. I will add here some comments for you to really not to be lost actually in this sections. What perhaps I should also add, yes, and another thing, this is the streaming. This is a pure streaming sessions, so this is not prepared in advance webinars. This is not the learning sessions. I mean, you will learn a lot, but the idea is that we will work together. So I'm creating this project booked anyway. I'm doing this in English. I'm just inviting you to be a guest during this work, to do it together, perhaps to give some comments online to me, also give some questions, what subjects are most interesting for you, what kind of doubts you have, or you don't know how to proceed, or you don't understand certain field here. So this is exactly a great opportunity for you to interact with me during this session. You can ask the questions either on Facebook. I will just have a look how does it look like in YouTube, because there's also a session in YouTube, my channel, and there is I'm live right now, as you can see here, as well on and here I will also watch your comments and questions here. So please also subscribe my YouTube channel not to miss anything, and so you can find me and this streaming sessions on Facebook and YouTube as well. So let's continue. Okay, so just short reminder or recap why we made the SciPoc recently. Also, what you will find out that I'm learning in the same way how to effectively use okay, Google spreadsheet. Okay, so it looks like the size here is too big, and we have to reduce the size to see the dots. Yes, okay. So the main question always in the define phase is how it should be and who is allowed to say so. So we have to, and also the last one, how we can prepare ourselves to run the project, because the project will always take, like, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months. You will engage a lot of people, you will ask for their time, there will be always some resources needed. So there is nothing is for free. Also, to run Lean Six Sigma project will take some time, will take some resources, and this is why we have to also prepare ourselves and the organization or team. And during the first phase, during the define phase, also there will be a part we'll talk later, not during this stream session, but tomorrow, or I think even day after. So we'll talk about what will be the how to prepare for the next phases as well. But now let's focus on the main task during the define phase. So answer the question how it should be. So what are the standards? Do we know the standards, and who is allowed to define the standards? And of course, based on the early definition of Six Sigma, the customer is everyone who is expecting the effects of my work. So before we can talk about the expectations, some standards, we have to point and verify who is our real customer, and this is why we are using this is why we're using SciPoc. SciPoc is a great tool to really identify the customer, not only that one who is interested in your effect or the subject of the project, but also you are able to identifying customers other than him or her. Actually, SciPoc can be used separately as the single tool to really see the environment of the process, to really identify all your effects, then link the effects with your customers, then finally identifying the people who can come and ask what are the expectations. Then you're also identifying the inputs, so everything what you need to start and finish, proceed and finish your process, and then you identify for each input who is delivering it to you. So you point at your supplier, and then you of course go to your supplier and agree what are the smart conditions for your cooperation. So this is in general how you can use the SciPoc not only in Lean Six Sigma projects, yes, but in our Lean Six Sigma project, the main purpose is actually to identify who is the most important customer in your project. And one remark for Lean Six Sigma in general. As you may know already, the Lean Six Sigma, when it was invented by Motorola in the last century, and then developed by other companies, then General Electric has added Lean to this, and so on. So it was developing from the moment it was defined. So actually, but at the beginning it was given like in open source, so everyone has the rights to use, to adapt, to develop. And the situation right now is that actually the Lean Six Sigma and the DMake is free of charge. I mean, the concept. What was that? What language has appeared here? I don't know. Moment, let me check. Ustaw język angielski. Okay, so English. So free of charge. It means you can find out a lot of resources all over the network and the internet. And yeah, each company was trying to adapt the Lean Six Sigma to their own and unique culture, the conduct, the policy, the history. So you can find many shapes of Lean Six Sigma. You can find, for example, the Philips, I remember, previously was trying to implement a MEDIC approach, which was similar to DMake, but they have just rephrased a little bit the phases. So, but why I'm saying this? The way I'm showing the Lean Six Sigma to you is the simplest, the most, the easiest way, the simplest way, and also the most practical way to apply Lean Six Sigma. So this the book will help you, will allow you to start and finish a Lean Six Sigma, the full Lean Six Sigma sequence of activities and tools, everything what is in DMake. But I skipped very often not necessary, not needed exercises or tools that you can find out in different books, on different web pages proposed by different trainers. I mean, all of them they have a lot of sense. They are useful. They can be applied, but not necessary in every situation, in every subject. But what I will show to you is that the simplest, the most practical approach to Lean Six Sigma. If you will follow this, you will definitely be able to solve the problems using the Lean Six Sigma approach. Also, what does it mean? You can so the most practical way, and feel free to add any of Lean Six Sigma tools you may want. Okay, so yeah, this I think I thought I will phrase this and put it very clearly, because I don't want that someone will raise a hand suddenly and say, well, Igor, you skip, for example, Canon model, or you skipped some, or you forget about this, and Lean Six Sigma has have this and this and this. You may write, I mean, you may add this tools, but it's not really required to start and finish the DMake project. What the main and the basic requirements is what I'm presenting to you, and this book will definitely have these basic requirements, not more. So definitely there is no delta plus, there is no over processing, there is no over quality. Exactly, this is a very clear, a simple way, a logical way. From the moment someone will knock your door and say yes, there is a problem, until you will be able to give the process owners some proved and verified standards of the changes you have implemented recently in the process. So everything is starting again from someone is coming to you, is telling you, okay, we have late deliveries. Then you are trying to understand, okay, what is the subject, where and when. These questions are mainly to look at the right process, go to the right Gemba, and listen or watch the right activities. Then you simply map what you see in the SIPOC, and without going into details, you just do it in the very high level. But you have to indicate the starting and the end, and then the effects. What is the result of the process? The effects, which is exactly what you are looking for. What was pointed at by your champion or someone who asked you to solve the problem. Then by filling down the SIPOC, you have a clear list of your customers. And then what is very important, you have to highlight, you have to show without any doubts who is the customer who is the most interested in the problem, who see the problem, who is talking about the problem, who can, for example, feel some pain regarding to the problem you are solving. So this is very important to really highlight that, because what you will do next, just after you will verify who is your real customer, who is the really someone who is allowed to explain, no, who is allowed to describe and tell about the problems, or generate the standards. Yes, so you know this person, I mean, you have identified this person, and the next step in the define phase, you have to just simply go there. Hello, dear customer. Actually, I am the person who is willing to solve the problem, and I heard you. You how to say is you face the problem yourself. It's influencing your process, influencing your activity. Is not giving you enough value, for example. Yes, so you feel the pain, and I came here, so I'm leading the project using the Lean Six Sigma methodology, and my goal is to eliminate the root causes that are causing the problem for you. So you will have a better life. We, as the people working for you, your suppliers, will have the easier life. So we, by solving the problems, we are creating life better. Hello, Syed. Great. So, so if you know what I suggest, you what is good to also collect some contact informations, like what is the telephone, room number, where you have to go or call, or ask for the time and agree the appointment. But finally, when you do this, you're meeting the customer, and you're asking a very nice question. This actually is very often called voice of the customer, because customer, you just listen to the customer, asking how you see the problem. What is your opinion about these deliveries, in our case deliveries? What is your opinion about the effect? What is your opinion of my process, my team, results we are delivering to you, and so on, so on. And very often the first answers of your customer will be like, you are not able to deliver a single piece. Yes, you are always late. You are never complete. You have always some mistakes in documentation, and so on, so on. The customer will always go and talk about his emotions, so he will be very emotional. Finally, he has someone who is asking, "What do you feel?" And when we ask this, we got this. We got these answers. So first, definitely we will hear some emotions like always, never, like all, and so on, so on. I suggest that you write it down, because this is the true voice of your customer. I mean, you as the Lean Six Sigma project leader, you cannot use this later on in the project. This is true, but at least you are showing the empathy. You are showing that you are listening to your customer, and what customer is feeling is also important for you. So you just listen to him. Yes, of course, I agree. Oh, okay, yes, you're right. But this should not be the only concern, your concern during this meeting with your customer. Let me do like this. So perhaps it will be a voice of the customer, but actually everything, insert one above. This is meeting with the customer. So you have to do the meeting of the customer, and I encourage you to put here date. So here you have to put when it happens, and place. So it was at his office, so it was, for example, on email or via internet, or yeah, communication way, something like that. I don't know how to call it, but anyway, so date and place. It's on face to face on internet. So you put here this kind of information for you later on to really understand when and how you collect this information. So and then you are filling a very simple table. So first you are just really writing down the first sentence you hear from your customer. You may discuss this with him. You may show the empathy. Of course, you have to be a person interested in what customer is saying. But you please do not get angry. Do not discuss. Do not argue. Do not defend yourself and so on. No, just receive. Receive this because this is a feedback from the customer, and you have to follow the discussion. You have to open the customer. You have to learn more, and you should not discuss right now with him that no, he's not right, it's not like that, we are working very hard and we are doing all our best, or no, it will not work. So first you have to listen. Very important is that your customer can notice that you are writing down what you hear, because if you write down, it means that it's important for you. It will not vanish, it will stay later, for it will be noted. So actually very important that you note down what the customer is saying. Okay, and so you are listening to him. Yes, I understand. Okay, but your main goal is to use the facts and figures to collect some data and to do some statistics, some analyze, to show the real situation in the graph. You need numbers. You remember what we discussed before, that actually to clearly identify the problem, you have to know the customer expectations, and it has to be in the measurable way. You have to be very clear. You have to measure it. It has to be measurable. Otherwise, you will not be able to proceed in the Lean Six Sigma project. And this is also very strong. This is the strength of Lean Six Sigma. From the early beginning, from the moment you enter your customer door, you are always expecting numbers. We are always expecting some facts and figures. You are not taking any rumors, any not verified information, and then you are making some analysis based on that. No. Of course, right now we are at the beginning of the project, and there's a lot of questions we have to answer before we'll be able to use the statistical analysis, of course. But and we have to answer a lot of questions regarding the measurement system, the quality of the data, where we take this data. Okay, I understand. We are also not sure about if the problem is problem actually. But and this is why we have to follow this actions in define and measure to really understand and have some evidences that the problem is described in the best way, is based on the written standards and based on the verified measurements. And now, yes, we are all sure that the problem is real. So to actually have these answers and to be sure regarding the problem, we have to start here right now. Actually, you see the SciPoc, what we did before, is also an example of very precise and very clear and strict tool to give you a very clear answer. Who is your customer? There is no doubts. And this is all the other exercises you will do during your Lean Six Sigma Green Belt project will actually look the same. And you will see, we will also do the business case tomorrow. It will be also easy. So yeah. No, so you are in the front. You are at the front of the customer. You have listened to what he told to you regarding the project. He's unsatisfied. He see the problems. He is complaining. Otherwise, you should not be there. Otherwise, you would not be there because you are actually solving the problem. Someone told you the problem is. You would like to really actually you're acting like a police officer that is going to the crime scene to really collect some evidences. Okay, I mean the problem or complaint, it may looks like a crime, and you have to really find all the information that will guide you to find an answer why and who and what we can do to prevent from the next occurrence of the problem. Okay, so you listen to your customer. How we can? I think we can do it in blue. What do you think? Let's highlight everything what is just a description. We will do no. Everything, yes. So this will be blue. This and this will be blue as well. Okay. And here is also blue, like this is what we have to follow, but not necessarily fill down. In the green fields you have to fill down, okay? And for example, the yellow will be the result you have to pass to the next step. You see here it was yellow to yellow, orange to orange, and so on. Okay, so you do the voice of the customer. Great. And the next question you have to ask to your customer is actually, okay, so yes, I understand what you're saying. I understand your concern. Yes, we are very sorry, but we would like to attack the problem with very specific and with a very specific tool, which is Lean Six Sigma. And to be successful and effective in our way, we have to focus on the numbers and facts and figures. So can we define together, looking at what measure we can observe the problem? So in other words, by measuring what, you are always trying to evaluate the quality of the effects. So this is, so if you are telling that we are always late, also we are always wrong, what do you think? This is about the time, this is about the temperature or weight or height or depth, whatever. I mean, what kind of measure you are conducting to really verify the quality? So we have to ask the customer about what measurement is he performing to really find out about the quality. And this is also a very nice example that we can apply Lean Six Sigma tools on the subjects that we have never measured before. For example, I mean, You remember I mentioned this also yesterday, that the Lean Six Sigma can be applied to different kind of process, even if you are not measuring. The only result will be that it will take longer time, it will take more time, more efforts, but it's possible as well. This is one of the element. What is one of the point that is making this kind of difficult projects possible. So you are starting right now to create a basics of your measurement system to measure the problem for the first time. I mean, in the most of the cases, perhaps your customer will tell, yeah, but it's obvious, it's about the temperature, don't you know? Or why you are coming to me, you have reference, you have the drawings, you have all the dimensions, you have the critical quality list. I mean, why you asking me this? It should not be like that. So yes, you may be right. Some customers may behave like that, but you can explain yourself by saying that yes, I understand. I just want to confirm if we are talking about the same measure, because identifying the right measure, accurate measure, is the key point for the project to be successful in Lean Six Sigma. So can we just confirm, or perhaps I would like to do double check, yes, something like this. So and here you have to talk about some, I don't know, weight or temperature or time or whatever, like some distance. So you have to write down what kind of measure the customer is using to verify the quality. Okay. And let me talk about one thing regarding the measure. It may be interesting, I hope. How can I write this? Let me. Okay, this will be. No. So let's assume let's assume that you are we are cutting some wires. Cutting the wire. And we are working in a small company, we are cutting the wire, and of course we are doing this automatically with the machine, and suddenly the machine is broken. We have to deliver to the customer the quantity he is expecting. So we have to do it manually. So we take the cutting tool or scissors, whatever, and we are doing this manually. Or perhaps not we, but our friend. Our friend in the company is doing the same, and he is cutting the wire, and we are measuring. We are measuring the length of the wire in time. So like every time someone is cut, we are taking this, we are measuring, we are putting the measures on the paper, on the table. We are like quality control. Yes, so someone is measuring, our friend is cutting, no, our friend is cutting the wire, and we are measuring, and every measurement we are indicate on this run chart. The run chart is the specific graph that is used to see the changes in time, and we will talk about the run chart many times in the future, don't worry. But what I just want to give you an example. So you understand, we are measuring the length. So the cutting the wire, yes. Sorry, the wire. Sorry for the words. I didn't mean that. So, and here we have like let's meet centimeters. Okay. So we measure in centimeters, and here we have time, and the line is like that. A very horizontal simple straight line, horizontal straight line. What is your conclusions? What do you think about this process? You may think, wow, my friend is the best cutter, the best person I have never seen such a precise person who can cut wires. Every single wire has exactly the same length in centimeters. You may say it, he's perfect, he's my hero. I mean, why we need this machine? He can cut the wire all the time himself. Okay, we can ask the question about the efficiency of this cutting. But anyway, regarding the quality, he may be the best one. But is it true? What is the probability that we will see this kind of situation? I mean, you have to always be aware, if we are measuring the process and we see the straight line, sorry, something is wrong. I mean, we can be sure several things in our life, but definitely we will always see a variation. We will always see a difference in time when we repeat certain activities. Actually, the problem when we see the straight line is, for example, our measurement system is broken. It's not working properly. The battery is gone and we see on the display always the same value. Or perhaps we are the precision or the variation in the cutting length is in millimeters, and we are using some device tool which can give you you can distinguish only by centimeters. Yeah, so you don't see this variation in the result. What we will always see in this kind of let's try to I think it will be this. So no, sorry. So what we will see, let me try. Okay, so what we will see like this, something like that. So there will be some variation. It means that doesn't matter who will perform the cutting, the process, there will be always some variation in the results. Yes, and this is the starting point. And finally, thanks to God, we have the variations. If there would be no variations, there would be no. The sense of living would vanish immediately, because I think the sense of living is that we face unknown what is hiding tomorrow. If we can foresee what will happen tomorrow, and tomorrow will be exactly the same like today, the meaning of life is zero. So thanks to God, we don't know what will be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be always different than today. Everything is changing, and this is why we have the variation in the process. Before we continue, before we ask the next question to our customer, so there is one question still waiting here to be answered. So before that, we have to understand one thing. So let's come back to the variation. So this is actually the real situation. This is the real life. We will always see the variation. We cannot escape from this. And just what we have to understand is that the variations are the results of, let's do like this. So there are three general root causes of the variation we observe around us in the processes. Okay? And we have to understand what is causing the variation, because this can give us already some hints, some indications what we have to look at to solve the problems related to variation. Yes. So what do you think? What could be these three main sources of variation? So one is definitely people. So we are the source of the variation. We are different. Each of us has a different knowledge, different background, different skills, different values. We are not producing the clones yet. This is not a Star Wars. So we are one of the main sources of the variation in the processes, because yesterday I was different than today. Tomorrow I will be different than today. We are different. Everyone who is listening to me right now is a different person, and we will behave differently. we will judge differently, we will make different decisions, and not perhaps everyone, but in general we are all different. So if you have people in your process, please do not be surprised that you have variation. It will always happen. What is important is to know, is there anything we can do to eliminate the impact of people to the variation in the process? What do you think? Please think for a moment. Is there anything we can do to eliminate a variation? So there are two main solutions, two main way of acting. I mean, yeah, two solutions. What we can do to eliminate, to reduce the. I'm not talking about the robotics, automatization, and firing people. No. This is not that solution. Actually, this is very expensive and not productive, and a short time solution, perhaps not a long term. Sorry. So, first you have to create standards, and then you have to perform trainings. So you have to prepare the standards and conduct the trainings. This is the most important thing to reduce the impact of people to the variation in the process. Yes. So this can really give you a great impact, a great hint. So this and this should impact the people. Okay, so let's assume that we have no employee, no people in the factory. So we have a lot of money, we have invested a huge amount of money. We started a factory. For example, we are producing pens. Yeah, let's assume we are producing pens. And there is no single person in the factory. Everywhere are automates and robots, and you are just starting the factory every Monday morning. You are running the factory, and then ping, a new pens you receive as the results of the factory. But you know your customer is interested from time to time in the quality, so you are taking the pens, you are trying to measure something, and suddenly you are shocked because the pen last week was a little bit different than pen this week, and the month before was a little bit different than pen you are getting out of this automated factory today. And there is no person, no single employee, no one have ever chance to interact with the process in this time, but the result, the effect has changed. Why do you think that what could be the source of this? Do you have any clue? So there is no person, no people. I'm talking about wear. There is no perpetuum mobile. Everything what we use is getting used in time, is getting weird in time. Every machine, every tool, everything. There is no free lunch. If you would like to generate a value, if you want to generate some results, some product, you have to consume an energy, you have to consume the job. It means that you have to use some resources. So nothing lasts forever. There is no perpetuum mobile. Everything is getting weird in time. It's not weird. So yes, everything. I mean, all the machines. This is why we have so-called in the finance. I forgot this. It doesn't matter. Depreciation, I think, yes. So we have to include this situation in your financial books to actually collect some money for the moment when you are not able to use the machine anymore because it's finally weared out totally, and you have to buy new. So the machines getting quiet in time. What about people? Yes, also in our life, and also during the working day, during these 8 hours we work every day, we are weird at the end of the day, because we have used an energy, we have created some value, some results and effects, and this is why we have to think about ergonomy. The ergonomic working stations, the ergonomic processes, ergonomic the factory. This is the place where we can meet our norms and quantities and the quality for 8 hours. Okay, so what do you think would be the best way to prevent from this effect? To predict. Predictive maintenance, predictive measurements. We have to predict what is the level of wear, and then we can act on that. There is no, we cannot reverse this. We can only control, monitor, and then react properly on time. Otherwise, we'll face a lot of unexpected costs, because the wear can always surprise us. Yes, surprise us. So what is the last one? Environment. What I'm writing down, sorry. This is a very bad word. So, environment, yes. Environment. This is what environment. This is what is the last thing. I mean, everything what is surrounding us. The Earth, the planet Earth, is attacking us, or is not attacking. I mean, we are receiving a lot of vibrations, a lot of signals and energy in different sources, like a temperature, like earthquakes, like the radio waves, like a light. So everything around us is attacking us, is trying to influence, and this is also one of the main sources of the variations in the process. Am I right or not? What do you think? And so what we can do? Is there anything we can do to reduce the impact of environment to our process? Isolate. So anytime we the wind is disturbing us, we have to build the wall. The rain, we have to build the roof. The temperature, we have to isolate ourselves. The isolation, this is the only way to eliminate. So my question to you, the final question is it possible to reduce the variation at all? Is it possible to run the process where we see no variation at all? I think it's not possible. We are living on Earth where the vibration, yes, you see, this is a strange thing, because I have said so many times in this PowerPoint presentation that I would like to check the language, the English language, not other language. And then I put some new words, and again he's trying to check in Polish. Okay, anyway, so it's not possible to get rid of variation. There will be always a variation. And how to come to conclusion with any customer? You see, here we have the customer. We ask them, okay, so it's always the weight is always wrong, the temperature is always too high, the time is always too long, and so on, so on. And then you ask, okay, so what should be? What is the perfect weight? What's the perfect temperature? And even if even if he's able to say, yes, I want to have a 10 grams, for example. 10 grams, or not more than 25 or like 12 o'clock I.M. So we can talk about the goal, a very precise goal, but then we will never be able to meet this goal every time, because we have the variation around us. Everything is trying to, it will tend to not to meet the same goal every time. And how to agree with the customer, what we can do. And this is why we are using, in the normal day, you are using this every day. We are just talking about the tolerance. And this is what we can apply with the customer and agree and say, okay, so what kind of vibrations are you able to accept? Such a big variations or smaller one. And now we are talking about business. Now we're talking about, is it possible or not? How much it will cost? Okay, the small variation is so the more precise production is more expensive. The low precise production is cheaper, of course. And now the business is coming here. So we have to always discuss with the customer. Okay, so we have the goal, but we have to also agree on tolerance. And this is very important. So let's take from 2. So, or perhaps we have to agree on the so-called lower specification limit, and what is the upper specification limit. Yes, when we have this presentation. Oh, sorry, you cannot see. So here we have to talk about the tolerance, and we have to write down what is the from 2 or lower specification limit, upper specification limit. If you are working in the services, this is very often called what is your, in the agreement for the services you have the control limits. Perhaps you can help me. I'm completely blind right now. I forgot the control limits, specification limit. Okay, service SLA, service level agreement. Yes, SLAs. So SLAs, so like SLA, service limits. Service limits SLA. Service level. Yes. So and sorry for that. This is you see, this is live. I'm not cheating. I'm not preparing. I'm not testing this 20 times before. I'm just giving you what I have in my mind, in my heart, and this is true. So I'm telling you what I know from the experience, and sometimes I'm just human. I have vibration myself. I'm not stable, and perhaps this may be for few of you very frustrating, not interesting, but it's true. This is streaming. We are working together, and everything can happen. So coming back to the Chrome and the spreadsheet, so we have to fill down. So let's do like this. This will be 1-to-1. So every statement of the customer, we have to describe what we will measure, what is the goal, and what is tolerance. And what we have described here, these 3 elements here, we call in Six Sigma CTQ. CTQ. it means the critical to quality. So by measuring what, we are able to identify the quality of the effects. By measuring what was identified as CTQ, we are able to distinguish every delivery. Is it okay or not? We are able to sort out good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And this is the CTQ from now. Whenever anyone will ask you, hey, okay, so you're doing the Lean Six Sigma project, great. What is your CTQ? Oh, my CTQ is the weight of 10 pounds plus minus 10%. Oh, okay, I understand. So the CTQ are measurable expectations of your customers, and by using the CTQ you are able to distinguish good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Actually, after using the CTQ, you should see the pile of the good results, effects, or the pile of the bad effects, and this is how your customer is actually measuring the quality of your process. So this is all for today. I think it's still quite a lot of information. It may perhaps not take too much field to fill down, but this is one of the most important subjects in the define phase. When you will not be precise enough on this stage in the demake process, you will definitely fail in the project. So you have to be very precise. You have to really talk to your real customer and try to understand and write down with him how you will identify what you will measure, how you will identify the quality of your effects, and so on. So this was the third part of our streaming sessions. I hope you like it. I'm really looking for any comments from you. I'm sorry for my English. It's not the perfect one. I'm still learning English as well with you. This is also a quite big challenge for me. But anyway, I'm here to answer your questions. Please comment, ask on YouTube or Facebook. And one remark, if you would like to really improve the way you work by using the Lean Six Sigma approach, and if you think that this is important and useful and have value, what we are doing right now, the streaming, so please share it with your friends, with your customer, with your suppliers, because everyone who will look at the process and the quality of the process in the same way like you will improve the process better, and you will find a very good partner to talk about the same topics immediately. So they will capture your ideas, they will capture your subject, they will understand your questions, and you can really start together simultaneously and almost immediately to talk about the most important subjects. So the quality of the relation between you, like for example, you are the supplier to someone who is the customer, and just when you would like to be very strict in the relation, you have to always agree on CTQ. The same is for your suppliers. If your suppliers don't know your CTQ, they don't know how to steer, how to manage the process. So this like the really basics, not only for the Lean Six Sigma projects, but for everyday work with, doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what team, what factory, what industry, the quality of the relations. So what is the delta between you as your supplier and your customer, and your suppliers to you as the customer of your suppliers, is very, very important. So thank you very much. Please remember that we have everywhere the variation. Please think about the people, the equipment that is weird, and the environment. So thank you for being with me. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the Facebook team, and share it with your personal customers and personal suppliers. And we'll see you tomorrow.